Mr. Nantz, first of all, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today at the high school. So first of all, would you please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your career and also your relationship with Ensworth?
Well, first off, how do I introduce myself? I'm an Ensworth dad, and I'm proud of that. I have 2 children in the lower school. My little Finley, she's in the 4th grade with Miss Richardson's class, and my little boy Jameson is in the 2nd grade with Mrs. Cowden, and they love being a part of the Ensworth family. So that's my most important, obviously by 1,000 miles, most important thing that goes on with my life. The other part, on weekends, I run off and cover some of the most exciting sporting events in the world. Then I come back to Nashville and settle back in for my happy place.
Yes, sir. So I recently read an interview where you said, "I'm just a kid who followed a dream."
True.
So would you tell us a little bit about your journey into broadcasting? When did you know this is what you wanted to do, and also what sort of support system did you have?
The dream for me really began to kind of take hold at the age of about 11, and just from watching sporting events on television and being mesmerized by the storytellers at that time that were on the air, I wanted to be one of those voices. I didn't care about being on television. I wanted to go to those events, and I wanted to document things that were happening and how they were relevant historically. And I really, truly, through high school and college, was obsessed with the idea of one day working for CBS. Not just being a network broadcaster, but wanting to work specifically for CBS because I love the way they presented the NFL. And Pat Summerall was the voice of the NFL on CBS. And I love the way they broadcast the Masters Golf Tournament. I wanted to be a part of that one day. So I went to college to study. I never had access to anything close to this when I was in high school. I was the sports editor of our school newspaper. That's the closest I could get into the world of journalism/communications, but we had no access to any radio or television experience. That started my freshman year at the University of Houston.
So speaking of, you often talk about how the University of Houston sort of gave you great opportunities to launch your career into broadcasting. So how will having expert faculty, a type of facility like this, as well as technology, enhance students' development at the high school, getting their hands on this sort of experience this early?
Well, it's how do you measure it? I don't even know how you begin to quantify it. The thing is, you're getting a running start in a business that is all predicated on performance, not on grades. Sorry. I mean,
Yes.
Getting good grades and being a good student is vitally important. So I'm not diminishing the importance of that. But this is a performance-based business. And when you can go into college and have had access to this and knowing how to feel comfortable calling an event, hosting a studio show, cutting a show, running a camera, all of these things are giving our students at Ensworth a chance to be ahead of other kids around the country. It's a highly competitive world, broadcasting is. And this isn't, I'm sure, just here for the sports landscape. It's broadcasting today has a huge appeal to young people. They all want to get in it. It wasn't quite as congested as when I was coming out of college or even out of high school, but it is now. So this is a great investment in our kids that have a dream, foster a dream and want to realize it like I've been fortunate to do.
How have you seen broadcasting change throughout your time in the industry, and how important do you think it is for us, Ensworth, to prepare students for jobs or opportunities that may not even exist today?
It changes by the year, the innovation. I mean, I've seen it go from really now looks prehistoric, what we had back in my day, to now, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the way that you run a show. Look at the way you run replays digitally. Look at when I'm calling games. Look at the first down line.
Right.
That didn't exist until maybe 15, 20 years ago. You used to have to really guess as a play-by-play caller. There was no line of demarcation. So it's changing every year. It's just like, how much has the phone changed?
Right.
I mean, how has the phone changed?
Yeah.
Your life is you're young enough to not have the scope of how phones have changed, but you have the ingenuity to know that cell phones have not been around forever. And then when cell phones came on the scene, how every year they're improved. They're a little bit better. I need to get the latest, greatest. Well, that's what broadcasting is like. Television is the same thing. The technology every year is changing. It's neat to see that right here, Ensworth is on the cutting edge of it all.
Yes. And then I'm sure you get this question a lot, but I still think it's important. What is one piece of advice you would give to anyone interested in broadcast, journalism, or communications?
Well, I think this applies to everybody. Okay, that's at the very base of it all. Whether it's this is your goal and your future, or it's anything. Read. Reading is essential. Learn to love to read. Just a good old-fashioned book after book after book, and learning about the world, having this global knowledge. The world is so much smaller now, thanks to all this technology. Learn to appreciate what else is going on in the world other than in our little bubble. Learn to understand what's going on in world events, world cultures. And to me, that's the most valuable lesson that I could think of. It's amazing how many times I need to interact, maybe not in the moment live in a sporting event, but I've covered events all over the world. I've hosted the Olympics from Japan and Norway and France. And to be able to understand athletes, their stories, their backgrounds, I think it applies to absolutely everything, whether you're a broadcaster or you're a political science major. So I think reading is essential. And the second thing is efforting. What you want to do with your life, you've got to go get it. You have to have that passion for it. And that means you need to outwork everybody else to make sure you get those opportunities. You create these opportunities. No one's going to give them to you. So passion and knowledge go a long way.
Well, Mr. Nantz, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us
Thanks,
today
Dean.
and getting to tour this amazing facility.
I'm proud of you. I got to watch you at work
Yes.
and stood over your shoulder and was impressed, very impressed to hear how you call the game. And I wish you well in the next step of your career. That's going to be a great one. And I wish everybody else out there the very best. Take advantage of this. You've been given a true gift. You've been given access to the best equipment and, more importantly, the best faculty to help lead you on the path that you want to go on. That journey is part of the joy and fun. But don't ever forget, it started right here in Ensworth.
Gave us this.
This right here, this school. I've worn this tie on CBS a few times with pride. It's the best. You have every opportunity in the world to go explore the world and live the life that you want to live.